Live from the Stream Center in Tampa, Florida, the home of News Channel 8, your official Bucs station. This is Bucs Bonus on WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
Will Baker Mayfield return to the gridiron come Sunday against the Panthers after suffering an ankle injury last week? Is Todd Bowles on the hot seat, and can Tampa Bay turn this season around with just 6 games left in the regular season? We tell you all you need to know right here, right now on Bucs Bonus, sponsored by 1-800-ASK-GARY. I'm your host, Aileen Hnatiuk, alongside my teammates and your Bucs Insiders, Dan Lucas, Karen Loftus.
Hello. Happy week 13.
It's great to be here.
That one's
Chilly
for
outside.
Karen. This one's
Chilly,
for
that's the
Dan.
word we're using?
Chilly.
Frigid.
It's
well,
freezing.
for some of us, it's a tundra.
We have different
Well,
scales.
yes,
Dan
exactly.
clearly didn't get the turtleneck memo. Here,
Raise
if you're
your hand if you had the parka on today. 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Well,
I bet Rebecca Berry did too. She's in my camp.
Yeah, no, it's cold.
yeah,
it's cold.
it's chilly for sure.
Well, you know what was also cold? That game on Sunday, and not in a good way. Guys, your reaction. I'm just a little bit disappointed, but I'll let y'all take the stage, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
It's
I'll
yours.
start
The
us
floor
off.
is yours.
I was, the word I used Sunday was, I am uninspired. I am not. I'm trying to grasp at something. The play of the day for me was the 38-yard run by Rachaad White that, well, helped him get to 100 yards on the ground for the first time since he was at Das Bayern Munich Stadium last year. But it's just... The team just is getting in its own way, and it's a recurring theme. One way or another, penalties at the wrong time. Aaron Stinney had a holding penalty late in the first half that negated a big play. Drive wound up as a punt. I believe the ball would have been down near the 20. Little things like that. You're like, oh, well, that scenario didn't make or break the outcome. Well, it affected the score as it was, and a game that the Bucs battled to get it back to a one score. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Antoine Winfield dropping an interception. Little things like that are just plaguing this team that just needs not just a win, but to stack them. And this was a winnable game. Very winnable game.
Karen, what did you think?
I think that's got to be the frustrating thing for the team, is just seeing these ones that are close, and it's things that, they can clean up, and, missed opportunities. Tristan Wirfs said today, I asked him, what does it take to get a complete game, to put this all together, to tie everything together, as Coach Bowles said after the game. And he said, just not shooting ourselves in the foot.
Right.
And I don't think it did them any favors that Baker Mayfield gets hurt on their opening drive. You're literally on the goal line.
Yeah.
And granted, that was, you can say that was the beginning of the game. They had the whole game to bounce back from that. But that's a tough one. That's an energy zapper.
It's exactly what I was going to say. That was not only was it the beginning of the game, which you're saying is a lot of game to go, but that was a tone setter.
Total tone
You go
setter.
to the one. There's a penalty. Kyle Trask comes in, makes a heck of a throw to the back corner. Godwin can't get his feet down, and it's just. Todd Bowles has even said, It's different people at different times, and it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has played a role in this. Yeah. And who knows what would have happened if they're up 7 instead of 3-0.
Yeah. Changes the whole thing if you're not chasing.
Dynamic
granted, they were
different.
up by 3. They had the lead.
Yeah. The dynamic is different. And then Baker's Mayfield says, look, red zone continues to be our issue.
Yeah, Tristan echoed that today.
He's dead on. He's dead on. I don't know. It's very frustrating from that standpoint. I think we picked on the defense a little bit Sunday in this game, and I think rightfully so. Getting run on 155 yards. For me, the signature play was Gardner Minshew running in and Devin White doing the Olay tackle inside the 5. Reminded me of Patrick Mahomes last year jumping over him.
Even if he is battling that ankle injury, you still got to make that.
What did Bowles say after the game? The run defense was a little leaky up the middle, is how he phrased
yes,
it.
He did. Yeah. Yes,
well,
he did.
I think, Dan, you mentioned the play for you. I liked that play by Payne Durham, that catch, just
Oh,
reaching
yeah.
over the defender, his defender. I think I thought it was a touchdown. I think
So
it should
did
have been a
I,
touchdown.
and no one made a big deal out of that.
No, but we're
yeah.
making it a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
We are making it a big deal. You mentioned Baker Mayfield and the injury. That's setting the tone. We'll talk about his injury just a little bit. He's good to go, guys. He was fully participating today on Wednesday in practice. Good stuff there. Head coach Todd Bowles says that he is expected to play this weekend, and we actually have the injury report for you. For Wednesday, Levante David did not practice. Not great. You want to see him on the field. Carlton Davis limited with an ankle. Jamel Dean did not practice. Ankle foot. Servassier Dennis, not great because he's Levante's replacement. Did not practice with an illness. Hopefully he's good by
Yeah, he
Sunday.
was sent home today, so he,
Could be
under
the
the
flu.
weather, wishing him the
Could be the
best there
flu.
too.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
get some Dayquil, NyQuil. That'll do
Yep.
the trick.
Yep.
Yaya Diaby, ankle injury limited. Mike Green did not participate with a calf. Baker Mayfield, as we mentioned, he was full. Devin White limited with a foot.
And let's note that this was a walkthrough, though. This
Walkthrough.
wasn't practice.
Correct.
So these are like projected,
correct.
Right.
what they would have.
Yeah.
We're getting to the time of year where they really don't need full practices.
Yeah, it's
I know
a
fans-
Get out there.
preservation
I know
mode,
fans will laugh at that.
treatment.
It is a walkthrough league.
Yeah.
This is a film, game plan, rehearse the play league. They're not out there tackling the tackling dummies
No.
every day hard, full like they do in training camp.
Treatment,
Yeah.
recovery modalities.
This is as much getting your guys to the starting line as it is trying to win games for sure.
Yeah. Well, obviously Kyle Trask getting some time in there just a little bit. Casey Sloan wrote an article. Could Kyle Trask start against the struggling Panthers following Mayfield's injury? No, because he is full. But you can obviously check out our website at WFLA.com and read all the good things that she posts, we post. Yes, we got you guys. And you know who also has you guys? Say the name. Say the name.
Well, he had words for me on Monday. I can't wait to see what he has to say.
Buckified Birch.
Hello, Aileen and the crew, Bucs Bonus crew. Look, I'm so happy to be back now. Thanksgiving is gone. It's kind of bittersweet. It's like bitter to lose, but it was sweet when the Saints lost. And we served about over 1,000 people at the function at Donatella Restaurant. But now going forward, come Sunday, and we're going to be wearing the lights. You'll see the Buckify lights from here on out, taking up December. Lights out. Buckify ship going to be lit up the whole entire month. And we'll take care of business. We jump back in first place come Sunday because the Buccaneers will take care of business. The lights, the new costume and everything really going to kick in now because we in December. We ready to get it on. Let's take it all the way to the promised land and show everybody that they was wrong when they thought the Buccaneers wasn't going to go back to back to back. I'm out of here, but we're going to get you the stats from the week. Casey Sloan, she's going to take care of the stats of the week. All right, this is Buckify Bird, and I'm out.
Hi, guys. Well, the third time is a charm because for the third consecutive week, Mike Evans had himself a game, landing himself in the spotlight. Evans hauled in his 8th and 9th receiving career touchdowns of the season Sunday. With his first touchdown of the day, he broke a tie with Don Maynard for the 15th most touchdown receptions in league history. And after Sunday's game, the wide receiver is now ranked 2nd in the NFL for receiving touchdowns behind Tyreek Hill, who has 10. Evans led the Bucs with 6 receptions for 70 yards and had 2 touchdowns in Indy, making him this week's Casey Stat Chat Player of the Week. I'll see you all next week when hopefully we can talk about a Bucs win. All right, I'll see you guys.
Yeah, no kidding, Casey. My goodness. We would love to talk about a win, but the crazy part about this week is they could very well take the L. And you would think, right? A 1-10 Panthers team, the Bucs should run all over Carolina, but it's just not the case with the way things have been going for the Bucs. And weirdly enough, the last 5 games, I believe, for both of these teams, they are all losses in 1 win. The last 5 games for both the Bucs and the Panthers.
Last year, the Bucs faced an interim coach in Charlotte and lost, and Carolina was had a huge day against the Bucs. So,
yeah,
I anticipate Bryce Young to be throwing some yards in this game.
Well,
and I think stopping the run is going to be the priority. But the Bucs, where they're susceptible, you're looking at Tommy Tremble and this guy. These guys, they're going to get some yards. I think this is going to be a bit of a nail biter on Sunday. I do. I think the Bucs win the game, but I think it's going to be. Yeah. People think that okay, we'll get back on track and get some good feelings. I think they will, but this Carolina team, it's not going to be a blowout. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
put it that way.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think the Bucs pull out a win, but I think it's close. I think they're going to have to earn this 100%. Yeah. But here's the thing: this team knows that. Like they know this is not a gimme game. Everybody understands this is a league where there are no gimme games, and especially times like this. And Todd Bowles said recently this week, like we have to worry about ourselves. I mean, we're worried about ourselves, and as they should be. So yeah, Karen, I mean, what are your thoughts on Sunday?
I think the interim coach thing is an interesting wrinkle. Yeah. And granted, the players are the ones out on the field, and Todd Bowles said he's like, you're not going to change a whole system or a whole scheme in a week. But Baker's like, I've sort of been in this situation before, and he's like, team rallies around an interim coach.
Yeah,
absolutely they do.
So you never know what sort of inspired play that the Panthers might bring to the table with both teams fighting for this one and fighting for the season.
Yeah, Carolina's going to fight. The guys are, on that roster are fighting for film, their jobs, everything at stake. The Bucs have to be careful because next week they're at Atlanta.
Right.
And you cannot undersell that game. That is massive.
Big game.
For the Bucs and the Falcons, quite frankly. But if the Bucs do not beat the Panthers Sunday, that game loses a ton of luster from the Bucs' perspective because if the Bucs are 4-8 after Sunday, it's darn near over.
Yeah.
At that point, so it's that game next week in Atlanta. If the Bucs win, tremendous setup. There's tiebreakers involved. Atlanta's 3-0 in the division. The Bucs have played only 2 division games. They're 1-1.
Yeah, so the Panthers twice.
They own the tiebreaker over the Saints.
Yep.
Right now, and I believe they finished the regular season at home against the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 of their last 6 are division.
Yeah. So
Panthers, Falcons,
big for them.
This,
and then Saints, Panthers to close it out.
As Todd Bowles calls it, the round robin tournament. The Bucs have at least that in their hands. That they play the most division games coming up, so that can, they say division games are worth 2.
Yeah.
So, especially against Atlanta next week, that's worth 2 games. Bucs up 1, Falcons down 1. That changes your tiebreaker scenario. So, I do want to say, based on Casey's Mike Evans numbers.
Yeah.
Real quickly, I didn't want to let it go without,
I know, because you were nodding your head as you were listening
to her. Well, because I'm just enamored with this career touchdown list because this is his Hall of Fame ticket.
Yeah. It's like 90, 91.
He's at 90 now.
She said, yeah.
He's 2 behind Gronk. Gronkowski is 12th of all time. But this is kind of cool because now he's coming up on Isaac Bruce. He's 1 away from that. But also tied for 13th is Devontae Adams from the Raiders, active. Right. And Adams scored 2 weeks ago. So now you're going to get a little Mike Evans, Devontae Adams competition going, which I've been waiting for Mike to catch him, and he finally has gotten up to him. He's 1 behind Devontae. And like you said, Mike has 9 touchdown catches this season, 1 behind Tyreek Hill. Say what you want about the Bucs offense, but Mike Evans is it.
Yeah. Also, checking in with his numbers, we know it's like he's had at least 1,000 yards receiving in every single year he's been in the league. He's at 850 now. So only 150.
Yes.
Coasting.
Oh,
not even that extra game asterisk or anything.
Just get it all
I feel
Sunday.
Like he's good.
Get 151 on Sunday.
I mean, you can't say enough about what he means to the team and the community and all the things. So, hopefully they work something out. For sure, no doubt about that one. Look, I'm going to make some bold predictions here. I think the Bucs win this week. I think the Saints lose to Detroit, and I think the Falcons. I think they lose to the Jets. They play
really?
The Jets.
Wow. Where is that game? Do you know? Is it the Meadowlands?
It's at the Jets. Yeah. It's in.
All right.
New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
I'm just going to say it. And you know what? If you want to throw eggs at my house, you don't know where I live, so you can't do it. But yeah, I'm going to manifest this, but also I can feel it I can feel it. I can sense it. I got a crystal ball with me here. I don't.
By the way, an interesting thing happened this week. The Minnesota Vikings played that awful Monday night game against the Chicago Bears, and so the Vikings are clinging to the last wild card spot.
Yeah.
And the Bucs own the tiebreaker over the Vikings. Now they're closer to the division lead than they are the wild card. I think they're 2 out of the wild card. However, if the Bucs stack wins, doors begin to open and possibilities begin to emerge. For them.
Well,
so.
Just real quick, obviously the game is home. If you have a child, or you're related to somebody, or you know somebody who's going to the game with you, who has some developmental issues or autism, whatnot, they just made a new sensory room for that. Todd Bowles and his wife. So
you got to go in there yesterday.
I did. We did a little story on it. You can actually watch it on our website, read it as well on WFLA.com, and it was really cool. Mrs. Bowles is an awesome woman, and it was really interesting, all the things that went into building the sensory room, and just pretty much what it's for is, if you're overwhelmed, things get too loud. If you're obviously the room sensory room, if you're sensitive to noise, you can go in there, and there's some games, there's a TV, there's a light up bench that you can touch, and it pretty much just redirects your brain and kind of just calms you back down.
That's cool.
So but good stuff there. So. Well, let me ask you guys this question. I'm going to put you guys on the spot, and I'll give an answer as well. Why do you think the Bucs have lost the last however many games?
Six of seven. Yeah.
Why do you think they have lost that many games?
I don't think that sometimes you think just the team is cursed. I think that there is just there is something keeping them from obtaining that ultimate focus. Maybe that was Tom Brady before last season, in the previous 2 years, because in 2020, in 2021, I've never seen a team so focused.
Yeah.
And I think that luck is true, but I think you make your luck one way or the other. You set yourself up for that, to be in that position. And there's a reason this team is committing penalties at wrong times. There's a reason they're missing tackles. There's a reason there's a missed block, is a bad read, a bad throw, a dropped touchdown. Add them all up. There is something keeping this team from getting into that ultimate zone, and it is burning them. And it's a shame, because the players in the locker room know it.
And look at the roster. They shouldn't have this record right now. Look at their roster.
There's a nice core of this team that won the Super Bowl still here. And it was mentioned the other day on the broadcast when the Colts were running all over them. How can this collective group, many of them veterans who were on the Super Bowl team, this is when you have been together so many years, you come together and it's like second nature. Well, they look lost at times.
Yeah.
So that's to me is keeping them from getting on track.
Yeah. I don't know how much more I can add to that, because that's sort of like the all-encompassing thing, like we were talking about earlier, some like the mental mistakes and shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
It is the ultimate team game. That was always the cliche from Tom Brady. And
the cliches are true.
Well, he's right, because football is 11 guys on the field, and if one of those 11 has just one little slip of the mind, it could derail the entire play. Yeah. For a running play to go 8 yards, it requires 10 guys to do something right.
Yeah.
And if one of those isn't on, it could be a loss of 2. That's just how close this is to the line of success and failure. And that's what I mean by the focus. It's just, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I feel for the guys. They're great guys in that room. And they'll tell you, they're not dumb. They'll tell you exactly what's going on, but it's just another thing in the moment to avoid that mistake.
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you. And Scott Reynolds of Pewter Report made the biggest point, and it's something I feel like it has been in the back of my head, kind of watching the Bucs take these losses. And yes, you attribute the losses to a million different things, right? Like you guys said, there's so many things that go into the game plan that have to work out, right? There's so many moving parts. Okay, but who is the guy that they're looking to that is like, oh man, I don't want to piss him off. I don't want to make him mad. I don't want to, who is that one guy on the field, on the coaching staff that is like, what are we doing? Who is getting mad? You know what I mean? And I think so many of them want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And Scott mentioned too, a lot of these personalities that they have are such, guys. They're dudes. They're likable guys. Everybody kind of wants to be liked, but who's the one guy that you don't want to make mad? You don't want to get scolded by, you don't want to get embarrassed by on national television. I genuinely, aside from Antoine Winfield Jr. having that speech after, what was the loss? Which loss was that? I'm blanking.
It might have been the San Francisco.
I think it.
No,
I can't remember.
Or that was before
Besides,
that
I think
game.
it might have been earlier.
Yeah. Besides that, I don't know of anyone else who is getting angry like that. And Antoine's not even like an angry guy. He's a very happy dude. There's not a personality on that team, I feel like, that is just kind of how like Tom Brady was. He says in all of his interviews, hardly my teammates,
I look at the
like
tenured guys on the team, and they're all, I wouldn't say soft-spoken.
Well, they are. They
all,
lead by example.
They're all doers.
They're doers, not
talkers.
sayers.
Mike
talkers.
Evans is a doer.
Yeah.
Levante David is a doer.
Will
Golston is a doer. Those three, and you could really throw Vita Vea in there as well. He's been here long enough before the heyday, and so it's just. And I guess the next veteran who would be in that role would be Tristan Wirfs.
Right, but he's also look at his personality.
But
like
he's outgoing. He is a guy who says and does the right things. But there's not. I may be selling these guys short if I say there's not that inspirational character in there that fits what you're saying.
Yeah, and they're inspiring, but there's no one that has that just flame where and you kind of don't even like him. And that goes for any team on any level, in any sport. Like, you have to have that one person, that one player, whether that is, you want to, ideally have them on the roster and the coaching staff, but they don't have it on either.
No, to me, one of the disappointing things on this team is the fact that the defensive players collectively, I am not seeing them rally around their head coach, who's their guy, who's been their defensive coordinator, and assembled this defense. And to see the regression, statistically, they've dropped in many rankings to the point where you don't even recognize the defense anymore.
Yeah, where's the pride? Type deal. Where's the pride?
At one point in the recent years now, this was you do not run on this team.
No.
Period. And they're still a good defense in the red zone. That's their strength. But it's baffling to see some of the passers come in here and just throw on them, and the schemes have success with the run on them. That's what's disappointing the fans the most, I think.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they could still turn it around. Someone
they
still
can.
could step up. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to be the positive Penny. Hate me or not, I don't really care. With 6 games left and a divisional game on Sunday at 4 p.m. Remember, that is not at 1. It is at 4. It was flexed. So, hopefully they can pull out a win and we can have a different conversation next week, which, again, next week we are here every single Wednesday. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, watch us on YouTube. We got you guys every single week. And again, hopefully we have a different conversation next Wednesday.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see you guys there.